Good morning, everybody. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry. Thank you for checking in on the channel. Today's cleanup day, cleanup and firewood. As you can see, I got Danny resting over here right around the corner on his outside dog bed. He's getting himself ready for a big day. We've got one little order to cut this morning for a tomorrow pickup, and it's the guy wanted three 10-foot 4x4s and a 12-foot 4x4. I'm going to try to cut all four out of a 12-foot log that I'm trying to save from the pile out back that's getting kind of old. I will show you the log, explain what I'm going to try to do. It's got a couple of challenges with it, but I still think we're going to be able to pull this off. And we'll cut this thing up, get it done before lunch, and then I got to move on to doing a little bit of firewood and some cleanup of the mill yard here before we start pulling down big oak logs to staging the oak logs for the big oak trailer order. So with no further ado, let's go over, check out the log, and I'll show you what we're going to try to pull off. So this is the end of the log. It does not show from this view the sweep in the log right at the end here, but if you can see around the outside of that log, it's a little bit punky. I've got plenty of meat in the middle to take all these from the inside, but it's going to take what I would call a shave down, series of shave downs and spins to get rid of all the punky bark on the outside. You can get these all out of the heartwood, which is sound. If you look at the sweep right there, that's going to cause a little bit of a problem. The rest of the log is pretty bone straight. The dimensions on the log are not going to have any trouble yielding for 3x5 by 3x5s because that's what the customer wants. Our big goal here is to get rid of all the punky wood on the outside and get a 7 1/8 by 7 1/8 cant out of the center, and then we cut it in half and cut it in half. And that's going to give us 4 12-foot 4x4s. Now this log would be a perfect candidate for 10-foot 4x4s. It starts to sweep down there right around 10 feet. This right now is cut a little over, I think, 13 overall. Just in case I ended up with a problem on the ends, I didn't feel comfortable cutting it all the way down to 12.6 or 12.3. So that's what we're going to be working on. And in a real world, this log would take approximately, to turn into 4 4x4s, about 12 minutes. Maybe 10 to 12 minutes max. But we are going to have to shave our way into it to make sure we don't leave them any crappy wood on the outside, and that may take a little bit longer. Now, of course, oh, and here's the final of the order that we cut yesterday. That is 23 1x4s that are all perfect. Those are the ones that are not perfect. And then I've got stacks of 1x6s. He's going to end up taking 22 of those, and I'll let him pick the ones that he wants. These are all perfect, no bug holes. Beautiful, no wane, and he's going to have a good pick out of that. That's yesterday's video, which you haven't seen yet, by the way, while I'm filming this, because I haven't uploaded it. In my stack of stock 4x4s here, I do have two 10-footers, but they're 4x4. So rather than try to use those, our first goal is going to be to try to get 3.5 by 3.5 at 12 foot out of that log. So that's what we're up against, and let's get set up to do some cutting. All right, so the first order of business was I measured my stops and know that they're up 7.5. So I can't go below that on this cut. I'm going to bring my band up here and check and see where this low spot is. I don't want to take any more off than that low spot, maybe plus a half, because of that sweep. So I want to find out where that is, and then I'll probably drop down another 1/2 inch. We'll take the top off, then we'll spin it. We'll take the side off it, whatever makes the most sense, and so on and so forth, until we get to 7 1/8 by 7 1/8. Once we cut the first two sides, one thing that helps is because you know you want to get to 7 1/8, so if you're not going to waste a truing cut, is start taking your jacket cuts on 8ths. So you can start, like, let's say your top, you want to take your jacket cut at 11. Once you get to that third side, instead, you'll have two flats. Instead of taking it at 11, take it at 11 and an eighth or 10 and an eighth. That's going to make it easier for you to get 7/8 boards out of your jacket cuts, and you won't have to take some sort of skim cut to get down to that 7 and an eighth. So first two sides don't really matter. Next two sides do. So let's go ahead up and drop down on that low spot, and let's find out how high it is. Keeping in mind that I can't go below 7.5. So that is basically 12. I'm going to take the top cut at 11. It's just a little less than 12. And that's probably going to leave me a pretty thin flat there, but that's going to be the safest way to do it. By doing it that way, we waste nothing. If this looks big in the middle, it doesn't matter. It had to be cut there. That end is jacked up like 1.5 inches to kind of center these. I've got all nice heartwood here now, which is great. I've got at least a wide enough opening on that flat now. I think that worked out terrific. So we're going to actually spin this thing, and let's get the punky wood off the side. This is a fairly old log, so for those of you who are saying, why would you pick that old log? Well, the reason that I picked that old log is because I got to get rid of them. Now, let me just give a look here. So my low spot on this side is the far end and this end. They're pretty flat overall, still jacked up on the toe board. So I'm going to come off of this corner just down to where it cleans up a little bit, take the top off it. Again, that's going to look like a pretty big cut, but it's really not. Actually, it's almost perfect. It's almost a perfect cut. And we're going to spin it again. We got to see how much we're going to have left over in this end here. Give it a quick measure here. I still think we can pull it off. I don't think it's going to be a problem. This side, we have to be cognizant of the 7 1/8, and I'll show you that how we're going to deal with that. Now, since I've got a really decent flat on the bottom here, I'm going to try to stay, if I can, one step outside of 7 1/8. So I'm going to look at it, come up to the log, make a mark at 7 1/8, come up to like 8 1/8, see if I can take it there, and leave myself something to the other side to clean up that one little spot on the bottom. That's wide enough, but it's got a little bit of sapwood in it. So let's come down to 7 1/8. Let's see what that looks like. That looks like it's going to be a pretty good mark right there at some point. So let's go up to 8 1/8 and see if we can take the top off it here. I've got a way better face on the other side, so I'm going to take this right to 7 1/8. You want to avoid the temptation to split this in half right now, because you're killing a flitch like this off the other side if you do that. If you can get a flitch off the other side, or if I end up having to shave in and recut the bottom or something, you're killing your boards if you do that. So split it in half last, unless you know you're getting nothing else out of it. I want to take note of what this side looks like. This side's really good. There's a little bit of wane down the end down there. So again, if I can get this cleaned up at 8 1/8, I'll flip it all the way over and cut this side a little bit more. It does not look like it. It looks like it's just a cut at 7 1/8. That's all it's going to be. Let's go back, cut it at 7 1/8. We drop down and cut it at 3 1/2. So here's the reason why you want to wait when I could have split it in half in that other dimension. So as soon as you hit that 7 1/8, you could have split it in half, because I would have lost this board. It would have split it in half. That's why you do it last. Once you get to your 7 1/8 by 7 1/8. Now I did mess up a little bit. Well, I didn't mess up because I couldn't take any less than I did. Because I mean, I still got a little bit of sapwood on this one. This one looks like it's going to be totally clean right here, and we only need one 12-footer. The others are 10s. So that at 13 feet, I can cut 3 feet off of a couple of these to help clean them up. I think I'm going to be one short. We're going to have to take a look at them when we're done. So I'm going to flip this up, cut it in half at 3 1/2. And I think the bottom one on this side, I don't think is going to be any good. So that means that I'd have to go over, grab a 4x4. We'll see how many are not good, and take the 10-footers and cut them to 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I'm definitely going to get a good one out of a good 12-footer right here. So that's what we're dealing with. All right, let's rip it right in half at 3 1/2. Just make sure that I'm already at my 7 1/8. I think I am. Yep. We'll unclamp these things. We'll take a look at them. We'll see what we're going to have to do here. I think I'm right, though. I think I got this one 12-footer here, or 13-footer, that's bone straight, all apart. So this one is the one in question. Now, it's a perfectly good 4x4 for stock here. This is going to be the big question, is how much of it is going to be. So it's a good 8-footer, and that's about it. And then this one's a good 13-footer. This one is a good 13-footer. And then this one is a good 10-footer. It kind of stinks. I'd be done cutting if this one ended up good, but I'll show them to you really quick. So these 3 on this side are perfectly good 12-footers. If you see that one little section here, let me go down there, of that soft punky wood right there, that's well past my 12-foot mark. That can just be cut off. The outside one, you can see there's a big chunk there. It's got that sappy wood down there, and it's got some wane down there. That would be a perfectly good 8-footer, but it's not a good 12-footer. So We have to pull one of the 10-footers over here, or I'll pull both of the 10-footers over here. I'm going to cut them both to 3.5 by 3.5 and save the 12-footers for my stock. So thanks for coming along. Pretty simple little job. It completely fits what he wants. He's just going to get one of his 10-footers at 12 feet. We always appreciate the watch. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, please. The more you interact with us, the bigger the channel is going to get. So if it's just hitting the thumbs up or sharing the video or leaving a comment, those things help the algorithm push the videos. If you want us to grow, we need your help with trying to give you the best product we can. If you think that we can improve on something, let us know. If you like what we're doing, let us know. If you want to see some different angles, or my biggest complaint watching back the videos, I like the product, but my biggest complaint is the noise canceling on the mics messing with the sound of the sawmill. So the sawmill always sounds weird. I did try to give you that last shot of milling those two 4x4s without mics, so hopefully you can hear it better. But the noise canceling on the mics really messes with the sound of the sawmill, and that's not going to change with other mics either. The good part is that they don't break up. So some mics, even some of the more expensive ones, they break up when they're that close to stuff they're trying to noise cancel out. So as long as these little lavalier mics work, I'm going to run them. You know, someday, maybe when I grow up, I'll have 10 cameras out here and a video crew shooting and really cool mics with the little furry thing on top and everything. But for now, that's not it. Now we're just trying to grow. We're trying to get better, and we need your help to do it. If you want to buy something from Norwood, please use my affiliate link in the description below. Make sure you just copy and paste it to your browser. It'll take you right to Norwood. Somehow tells them that you watch my video. Also, we are going to be doing the drawing for those bands this weekend. I will do 2 drawings, I believe. I think that's the most fair way to do it. I'm going to give away the 5 Stella Cut bands to one person and the Carbide band to another. Because we had so much response, I don't think it's fair to break it up and give everybody, you know, give 5 people a band and then leave out 3 or 4. If it was less than 6 people, we could have given everybody something, but it's a lot more than 6 people. So, you know, if you're running those 144s and you want to try them, you can use my affiliate link and go to Norwood and order some, because Norwood does sell 144 Stella Cut bands. But for now, for Danny, who's sleeping on his dog bed over here, and myself, who's about to go in and grab a little bit of early lunch here before I have to come out and get to doing firewood and splitting and cutting, Pirate Solutions out.